Hello beautiful people, how you guys doing? I hope you're doing fantastic. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. Karibuni sana, and the topic for the day is relationship advice for single women. You guys already know that I'm in love with love and marriage and relationships, and this week I was just watching podcasts on relationships and I just felt like I need to share a few pointers, so let's get into the video. Okay, so point 1, cultivate a relationship with God. I will keep on emphasizing this because I feel like once you know your place with God, you know your place with yourself, and now you have a chance to like bring someone else into the mix. So Matthew 6:33 says, "But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you." And I was speaking with a friend of mine, and we were saying the way it's important for God to guide you in every step that you make, including the relationships that you enter. So sometimes we usually look at, okay, we find someone who's interested in us, or they find us, whatever the case may be, and then we get into the relationship, and then when it's not working, you're like, God, where are you? But you never consulted him before you went into it. So cultivate a relationship with God. Let him be your best friend. Let him guide you. Hear from God. What is he telling you? What does he want you to do? Number 2, be the best version of yourself. There's a podcast that has just started. It's called the Code Podcast. I would advise any and everyone to go and watch it. I might leave a link in the description box. But one of the ladies to the men who are doing the podcast, the wife rather, was saying you should just be the best version of yourself. She was actually talking about cooking. If you want to be a wife, do you even know how to cook? Do you know how to be a wife? And she was saying, like, for you to be a wife, for you to become a wife, you have to be a wife before you become someone else's wife. So yeah, be the best version of yourself. Take care of your body, your mind, your soul, your spirit, your heart, your career. Are you doing well at your workplace, your friends, even as a daughter? Because I find that sometimes we want to be in a relationship and expect that relationship will go well, but at home our relationships with our parents, with our siblings are not going well. So work on what you have in your life first. Is your relationship with your sister going well, with your brother, with your mother, with your father? Because the person that you'll get into your life is just a human being, just like every other human being. So if you are having issues with those who are close to you, maybe there are things that you need to work on. Know what you want. Know your standards. Know exactly what you want, and do not, and I will repeat, do not settle for less, because it's not worth it. In jobs, we don't settle for less. Ideally in life, we don't settle for less. So don't settle for a man who's not worth your salt. Unfortunately, in this world, it's like that. Not everyone will be worth your salt, and a guy who thinks you're not worth his salt will not give you a chance. So you don't give anyone a chance who is not worth your salt. Go for what you want, and let your standards align with who you are. Don't have unrealistic standards. Let your standards align with who you are. Let them align with your beliefs. Let them align with what you think you're worth. And when you realize what you want and what you need, do not settle for less. Okay, do not go out of your way to please a man. That is point number 4. Do not go out of your way to please a man. I see so many women trying to convince a man that I should be the woman for you. You try dress well for him, you try cook for him, you try do so many things for him, but it never seems to be enough. And this is my policy. if a man needs pleasing, he does not deserve to be pleased. So the man who's meant for you, my dear, will not need, you won't have the feeling or you won't need to please him. You won't need to convince him that you are the right one. He will know that you're the right one. I'm not saying don't go out of your way to please the man that God brings into your life, but don't try and convince anyone that you're good enough. If he doesn't already see it, forget it. My other point is be patient. Be patient. Be willing to wait for the right partner, and do not be anxious. I think in the society that we live in now, there's so much pressure from our parents at a certain age. Hey, where is Mr. Right? Or for the guys, where is, the lady that you're going to marry? Where are the grandchildren? And just this pressure in society that gives us anxiety. But what I'll tell you is just be patient. Just be patient. Keep yourself busy doing what you need to do, working on your passion, working on your career, and do not be anxious. Be very, very patient. Do not settle for anything less than. God is faithful to bring you the right partner at the right time. So just be patient. Okay. And that doesn't mean that you can't desire. That doesn't mean that you can't imagine what you would want, what you would like, the family you'd want, how your children would look, where you'd want to live, the cars you'd want to drive. By all means, imagine them, desire them, want them, but be willing to be patient and wait for the right thing. Okay. Next point, have people who know you, your relationships, and can speak into your life. This has really saved me. So I'll give an example. So with my first boyfriend, I broke up with him because of my mentor, and indirectly. So when I was speaking to her about this guy, she told me, is this someone you would marry? And I told her, I'm not sure, because I feel like I don't know him, I don't know his friends, I don't know his family, and she just told me, pray about it. So I think I met her on a Friday. So on Sunday in church, I was just telling God, is this the right relationship for me? And I told God, if it's not the right relationship for me, give me a clear sign that will show me that it's not the right relationship for me. And on that same date, I got a confirmation that it wasn't. I won't go into the details, but she helped me. And she's not, even my mother has told me about, guys, because I'm very open. My mom has known every guy that I've interacted with, every guy that is interested in me. She's met with some of them. So recently she was telling me to stay away from a certain person who's been around my life, and finally I took the advice, because she's been she's constantly been telling me, stay away from that guy, and finally I took her advice. So be open. Don't keep a relationship to yourself. Don't hang out with people that your circle does not know. At least your friends that you trust, let them see these people, let them know these people, because they're able to advise you. And when your loved ones advise you and tell someone is not good for you, maybe don't necessarily let them go, but hold that information with a lot of weight and think about it, because advice saves people from a lot. So allow people to advise you, allow people to warn you, and take their advice. Okay, so have people in your life that you are willing to listen to. Okay, the next point, do not stop living. I feel like in society, although it's changing, and I thank God that it's changing, women would just get to a point where it's like, for me to achieve this, for me to travel, for me to build a house, for me to buy a car, I need to wait for my partner. No, don't stop living. Live your best life. What if you'll never get married? What if you'll never get married? Does that mean that you'll never achieve the things that God has set you on this planet to achieve? Do what you need to do. If you need to go for a mission, wherever, in Turkana, if you need to travel, Travel, even if you'll do it alone or do it with your girlfriends or a friend. If you need to build a business, do it. If you need to build a ministry, do it. Whatever you need to do it, and do not stop living. Do not limit yourself because of a relationship or because of a certain status. Be ready and open to healing and changing. I was having a conversation with my mother yesterday when we were coming home from town, and I was telling her I've realized that the women who stay in relationships the longest are women who are willing to compromise. Because and men as well, men who are willing to compromise. Because one thing you find, actually my dad was telling me last night, when you meet someone, it's like an iceberg in an ocean. You only see the tip of the iceberg, but the whole thing is underneath. So when you're meeting a partner or a lover or whatever, you only see the tip of the iceberg. You only see this handsome man with his career, but the weight of who he is or the weight of who she is under the ocean, is underneath, is what you cannot see. So once you get into a relationship with someone and then they start unfolding and you start realizing who this person is, and you start realizing that they're imperfect and they have things that they need to change, if you're not willing to bear with those things, if you're not willing to be patient with them for them to change, if you're not willing to compromise, that relationship will not work. And that's why divorce keeps going up every single day. We're seeing even people getting divorces, separations, because people are simply not willing to work on their relationships. They are not willing to wait. They are not willing to be patient. It's like, be perfect today or I'm out. So yeah, you must be willing to change. You must be willing to heal. You must be willing to compromise. And there's a verse I don't want to forget, and it says, Proverbs 11:14, where no counsel is, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors there is safety. So on my point on advice, in the multitude of counselors there is safety. So you are in the middle of that emotion, and you might not think soberly, but those around you can see things that you are not able to see. So take what your loved ones are telling you with a lot of weight and consider it. Okay. Know your purpose to get with a purpose partner. So what has God called you in this world to do? Because you don't want to just pick someone and then you come together, but there's nothing that's joining you beyond the emotions and the love. Because the truth is, the love and the emotions wears out. The fantasy of the relationship wears out, and then there has to be something that brings you guys together, and it needs to be purpose. So what's your purpose? What's his purpose? Is there something that can glue the two of you after the emotions are gone? Last but not least, this one is interesting, but I've gotten it from the Code podcast today. So watch the podcast, and basically it says, show, train, teach a man how to treat you, and do not compromise. So I'll give an example of the wives of one of the guys on the podcast, and she was saying there's this one time they went on a date, and the guy just got out of the car and started walking, and he realized that the lady was back in the car. So he wondered what's wrong. Is the what's it called, the handle, the car knob handle on the door, is it broken, or what's the problem? But the lady just wanted chivalry. She wanted the guy to open the door for her, so she was not willing to come out until the guy opened the door. I mean, it's an extreme, but pretty much teach people how to talk to you, teach people how to treat you, and do not compromise. I've come to the end of the video, guys. Please leave a comment below. I want to hear what you guys think. Also recommend what you guys would want me to speak on. Yeah, I hope you've loved this one, and keep God first. See you next time. Bye.